Well, let's go talk to all our pals. Maybe Presley will have something to say.
Yes, Commander?
No, he does not.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to tell you, you're doing a great job. Get back to it. Who's gonna be sitting down here? Anyone? Just those same two guys. This is Kaiden's spot where he just stands around looking at a monitor. I mean, I do that most of the day anyway. I don't stand though. I typically sit. So good on you, Kaiden. Keep those lights moving. Oh, I should have quick saved just in case I say something stupid.
Do you have some time to talk now, Commander?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course. Have a seat.
We've played it pretty close to the book so far, but we're a long way from backup. We've got some tough calls to make. I'm just saying, try to leave yourself a way out. I've seen what cutting corners can do, and I'd hate to have that happen to you, Shepard. Maybe that's not my place. I don't want to send any bad signals, Commander. Just, working on what I've picked up. You tell me if I'm going too far.
Cutting corners? Does he think we're cutting corners? And you think that's a danger? Again, I default to the top option just in case.
Do you think I've made any bad decisions so far?
I don't want to step on anyone else's toes, especially if you're if I have misread your interests.
Oh, I don't think you have.
Someone. You're referring to our young Prothean expert?
I think she's older than both of us put together, but, yeah. There's a lower deck rumor that she's, interested in you as more than a source of Prothean data.
Yeah, of course there is.
She's a very interesting lady. To my, tastes, but, I never claimed to be big on alien culture.
It's not like that.
My relationship with Dr. Tassoni is professional.
Alright, only a rumor. But you don't have to spend your off-duty time with me. Not if you don't want to.
And if I do
I'm not
want to?
questioning any decision you've made, Shepard. Let me be clear about that. It's just my experience that once someone lets something slide, it tends to pick up speed. You get my meaning?
You have a bad experience?
Talk to me, Caden. You've got a little
Is it
black
Caden or
rain cloud
Kaiden?
sitting over your head.
I'll try to keep the deck dry. You know the records about the biotic trading out on Jump Zero?
Uh-huh.
They're all classified because the Alliance made mistakes.
Yeah,
After
as you
first
do.
contact, Kinetics was set up to track Element Zero exposures and develop implants for humans. Once we had an embassy on the Citadel, Kinetics could bring in experts instead of taking it slow.
Why the scare quotes on experts? What kind of people were they bringing in? Why couldn't we do it alone? Or experts?
The only experts would have to be aliens.
Dead on. Turians, actually. That's why Kinetics kept it a secret. They were afraid of what people back home would think, asking the Turians for help when we just fought a war with them.
Yeah, why not the Asari? That would seem to make more sense.
The Asari would have been more acceptable than the Turians.
Yes, but the company didn't go through the Citadel. It would have made Earth look weak, so they discreetly hired some Turian mercenaries.
I mean, I guess they meant well, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they did well.
I'm sure Kinetics did what they thought was best.
It wasn't best for us. They brought in an ex-military Turian named Commander Vernus. To introduce himself, he liked to say, "I was at the helm of the dreadnought that killed your father." When I told him my dad wasn't in the war, he'd retired to Vancouver. My family had an inland home that matured to New Beachfront.
Oh,
Vernus had it in.
is that some climate change there?
He cut corners, pushed hard. I mean, you either came out a Superman or a wreck. A lot of kids snapped. A few died. The point of all of this, I guess, is that when you cut corners, it's not always obvious who pays for it.
So why are you telling me this? Are you saying I'm cutting corners somewhere?
I'm saying it's probably inevitable that we'll have to, and when that happens, I want to help you. When someone important to you is up on a ledge, you help them, keep them from mistakes better made by a kid. Just say the word.
I'm interested.
Now isn't the ideal time, but I want to talk about this, Caden.
I get you, Shepard. I don't make a habit of complicating the chain of command. Just think about what I said.
Will you have anything else to say if I ask personal input or tactical appraisal?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Okay.
We'll talk later, Caden.
I'd like that.
So he's probably not going to have anything to say if I ask the other one. But nice, things are progressing with him. These all Shepard's locker? I suppose all the other ones are downstairs. So I do want to outfit everybody else so I can take some other people with me. Doctor?
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Can you tell me about our, No, it's all the same.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
I wanted to hear if she had anything to say about, Liara.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
Yeah, I was worried. Are you okay?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
She's the best.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
No, I'm fine.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
We're not getting into a relationship with Liara. Game really pushes you to like go towards it also. It's like everybody's got rumors about you and Liara. No. Okay, there we go. Rex. Oh, my friend Rex. How are you?
What do you want, Shepard?
Nothing else.
Nothing.
Suit yourself.
Ashley, you got anything new?
Commander?
How we doing?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Gotta admire those colonials. That's about the worst place for a colony I've ever seen.
Right?
Given the option, I'd get the hell out of Dodge.
I feel like Can We Talk is probably gonna lead down down that line. I don't want
Dismissed,
that.
Chief.
Sir.
Oh, and that's her locker. Okay, and oh, everybody's locker's right here. Oh, perfect. Rex and Garrus and Kaiden. Is it Kaiden or Kaiden? I'm really not sure anymore. Alright, I'm gonna look through everybody's stuff and equip them with nice things. I looked through everybody's lockers and I equipped them with the best of whatever we had, so that should make everybody a bit more viable. And next mission I'll take someone else with me, just to try other people out, even though I do want to continue to take Rex every time.
Commander, good to see you.
You've been with CSEC a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
I'll bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
What happened? Why were you investigating them?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
Is that a common thing that happens?
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one L-Corps diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs, had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut. Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
So how did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Salion, the geneticist. So I went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Solarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
Krogan testicles.
You're kidding, right? Why would anyone want Krogan testicles?
I bet aphrodisiac.
Some Krogan believe that testicle transplants can increase their virility,
See?
counteract the effects of the genophage. It doesn't work, but that doesn't stop them from buying. They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set.
They have 4.
Somebody's making a killing out there.
They have 4 balls. What a thing to find out. Lore, ladies and gentlemen.
What did you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
Interviewing?
You mean threaten? Was that really necessary?
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it paid off. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview.
Bad sign.
We offered to patch him up, and he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh. That was our big break. These people weren't just Dr. Salion's employees. They were test tubes. Walking, living test tubes.
What, was he growing the organs inside them so that he could just remove them later on?
He was growing parts inside these people?
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off. Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
Oof. Wow. That sounds awful.
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
What?
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but CSEC headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. He just used them to make more organs, but they wouldn't listen.
Well, I mean, it is true. That's basically what's going to happen to them. But, Paragon option?
Well, it's not worth the risk. You pursue the vessel and disable it. That's the best choice.
They sent the military after him, but he got away just the same. Yes, they did. I went to Palin and told him what I thought of him and his policies. He said if I didn't like it, I could quit. Well, I almost did. All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
I personally do agree with them. But...
if you don't care about the fate of those hostages, then you're no better than he is. You're just a terrorist with a badge.
Yeah, maybe you're right. It doesn't make it any easier, but I see your point. Just wish I could have stopped him. That's all.
So if I pursue this a bit more, can I get it as a quest and then go find him?
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Salion?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart, his idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
Give it to me, Garrus.
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go.
Oh, of course.
Salion, I want to be there when you find him.
Oh, you got it. You got it, pal. You are coming with me. We are gonna take him out.
Looking for supplies?
Sure, show me what you got.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
Still very expensive. I've got 21,000 though. It's all level 5 stuff now. Reaper 5. How does it compare to what I got? Oh, quite a bit better. Much higher accuracy too. slightly more shots before overheating. Can I sell some old crap? I feel like I should keep that. But I mean, I don't assume I'm gonna come across any Thorians, but then I probably will, and then I'll be like, oh, if only I'd kept the anti-Thorian gas. Okay, I'm gonna sell a bunch of low-level crap. Oh my god, it's all worth nothing. I sold a lot of stuff. I started getting into the level 3s, which I do have a lot of, but I don't have much more that's higher than that, so I think that I might want to stop here. Although that is not enough to buy the next sniper. So we're just gonna have to go about our business. Go down and see, oh, what's her name? I keep wanting to say Liara, but no, it's Tali.
Shepard, I'm glad you're here.
Good to see that you're feeling better.
Good to see you smiling again, so to speak.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Steren's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
Oh, I'm sure that you will. We got plenty of places to go. We're gonna go all across this entire galaxy by the time we're done.
We've still got a long way to go. You'll find something to take back.
Yes, but it cannot just be some derelict ship my people can use for salvage. It has to be more than that. There's a lot expected of me.
Are you somebody important?
What's so special about you?
It's my father. He's the senior member of the Admiralty Board. He's one of only 5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet. My father is responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
You're a princess.
So are you some kind of heir to the Quarian throne or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. My father's position isn't hereditary. I'll probably never serve on the Admiralty Board myself. Officially, I'm just the same as any other citizen. But it doesn't work that way in practice. People have always treated me differently because of who my father is.
Of course, you know, you're well known, so it makes sense.
You must get all kinds of special privileges.
I probably had it easier than most growing up, but it's not all good. People like my father have enemies, and they're not above using me to get to him.
It must be tough on you.
My people place a high value on family and ancestry. There's an unspoken expectation that I'll live up to my father's example. Everyone's waiting for me to do something great on my pilgrimage, something that will forever change our lives for the better. If I don't, it's like I failed, and that reflects badly on both me and my father.
Well, what if you're part of us saving the entire galaxy and figuring out the, mysteries of the Protheans and all that other crap?
The work you're doing here is more important than anything any Quarian has ever done before.
Yes, I know. But you have to understand Quarian culture. We're a very insular society. The events beyond the flotilla don't much matter to the average citizen.
Even the destruction of the galaxy?
Is that one day we'll return to our homeworld and drive out the Geth. But even if we stop Seren, that's not going to happen. There's still millions of Geth behind the veil. Until they're gone, our exile will continue.
Well, maybe we can make some time to go and shoot a few of them down or something? I don't know.
What would you need to bring back to make everyone happy?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into now are under Seren's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way of our mission, Shepard. First, we stop Seren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
Oh, but don't worry, we can always have time for side quests. So I think these are all the same things I've asked before, but Tali's father...
What was your father like?
It wasn't easy growing up as the daughter of one of the Admiralty. Even before he joined the board, he was a prominent figure. People looked to him for leadership. He had to set an example, and he expected the same of his daughter. Plus, he was pretty strict, a military man through and through. He never allowed me to settle for anything less than excellence. As a kid, I sometimes felt like he was pushing me too hard. But now, I'm old enough to appreciate what he taught me. The world doesn't owe us anything. If we want something in life, we have to earn it.
Yeah, how about your mother? You haven't talked about her.
Where was your mother in all this?
Mother was around, but she always seemed to kind of blend into the background. Almost like she was overshadowed by my father. He tends to do that to people. She passed on about 5 years ago. Some airborne virus that swept through the fleet. Happens sometimes when the filters start to break down. I think my father took it pretty hard. After she was gone, he became even more focused on his work. I think that was his way of dealing with the grief.
Why don't they, get, vaccines and stuff and work to protect their people in case of outbreaks?
Sounds like a tough upbringing. You don't resent your father at all?
Like I said, it wasn't easy. My father's not the kind of person you bond with, and he wasn't around all that much. Too busy. People counted on him, and he took his duties seriously. Even when he was around, he always seemed a bit distant, like his mind was always somewhere else. Come to think of it, I can't ever remember seeing him smile. Not once. It's like he was always weighed down by all that responsibility. I mean, I know he cares about me, but he never really showed it, not in the usual way. I guess the best thing I can say about my father is that I respect him.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing to say, but it is kind of sad to not have a good relationship, or well, maybe, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad relationship, but it's just not like a...
I want to talk about something else.
I don't know what I'm
Like
trying
what?
to say. Goodbye is what I want.
I should go.
See you later.
That's Adams and generic person. I feel like I should go back and actually ask the additional questions that some of these people have, but I'm gonna quick save first just in case it leads down any weird pathways, and I'll be back if nothing comes of it.
What do you want, Shepard?
Why did you become a mercenary?
Lots of reasons.
Yes?
Such as?
Such as, I needed to get out of our system. I needed to eat. I needed to survive.
Why not stay and help your people?
I tried to help. That's why I had to leave.
Too much fighting over small resources or something like that?
What happened?
I was betrayed.
Oh.
I was head of a small tribe. We were trying to restore order after the war, but the other tribes were against us. They followed Jared, one of the few warlords who survived the war with the Turians. But he was old, and so were his ideas. He wanted to continue the war. He wanted us to fight. Turians, Solarians, each other. It didn't matter who, as long as we were fighting.
You know, the way that these Krogans are so militaristic, but now they're dying out, except for potentially the ones who wouldn't want to fight, which would be the only ones who would be able to reproduce, even if they're reproducing at a very low rate now, they would be the ones doing it. So it seems kind of like, in a way, evolution at work to make them less aggressive. But let's see what else he's got to say.
What did you want?
I just wanted Jared to shut up, to stop his ranting. I wanted him to stop leading the tribes astray. But he couldn't understand how much things had changed. We didn't have the numbers to go to war. Even if we did, the genophage made sure we couldn't replenish our numbers fast enough. I told them all to forget about war. We needed to focus on breeding, at least for one generation. And for a while, we were getting through. Some of the tribes started coming around.
And then he did something stupid, didn't he?
I take it the warlord didn't appreciate that.
No, he didn't. He arranged a crush with the tribes. A meeting on neutral ground. He wanted to talk. We met at the Hollows, near the graves of our ancestors. The skulls of our dead laid bare to remind us where we come from, and where we all go. It's as sacred as any Krogan place can be. Violence is forbidden.
And I have a feeling there was violence.
It sounds like a trap to me. You must have suspected as much.
I did. But when your father invites you to a crush, well, there are some laws that even we hold sacred.
Oh, he was your father, wasn't he?
Jared was your father?
He was. Until that day. We talked, but we didn't get anywhere. When it was clear that I wouldn't join him, he gave the signal. His men leapt from the graves of our ancestors like Krogan undead. The few that were loyal to me died quickly. I escaped with my life, but not before I sank my dagger deep into my father's chest. That is why I left, and that's why I'll never go back.
Well, thank you for sharing. I wonder if this is going to be new information.
You must have family other than your father. Don't you miss them?
You trying to make me cry, Shepard?
Are you capable of that?
I've got some unfinished business with my family, but that's all.
And he's probably not going to tell me anything about it.
What kind of business?
Before I left, I made an oath to my father's father. I swore to recover my family's battle.
Ooh, another quest.
It was taken from him after the uprising.
Tell me more.
What's so important about this armor?
It's a relic. Useless, really. But it was worn by 5 generations of my family before the war. It's rightfully mine. Originally, it was taken by the Turian military. We weren't allowed armor or weapons after the war. Now, it's in the hands of Ton Actus, a Turian scum who collects relics from the war. He's made millions selling Krogan artifacts that were stolen from my people.
Oh, so he's like a Nazi with the
He's got several
Jewish
places where he
paintings
stores
and
his
gold
goods,
and all that stuff.
all fortified and guarded. I just don't know which base has my family's armor.
Oh, we are gonna do that. Oh, you know it.
Just tell me where to start looking.
I'll upload the data to your nav system. But Commander, I want to be there when you find him.
Oh, you will. You're gonna be there. And we're gonna get that armor. And it's probably gonna be some super armor specific for Krogans. And even if it's like just like for show in the game's lore, it's like gonna be good armor. I know it. It's gonna be good. Or we can upgrade it and it's gonna be great.
So long, Rex.
Oh, I'm glad I came back. Because I just thought that it was going to be a repeat of the same dialogue. I wish that the game would mark dialogue that you've already heard, so you don't have to go back through and find which ones you can actually still say.
Commander?
So, if I do this, is Ashley going to open up a quest too?
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
Sure. I was just watching some mail from home.
Oh, before I go, we saw Caden in a news vid about the Normandy. He's cute. Later, sis.
Let's pretend this never happened.
So it is Caden then. It's not Kaiden. Alright, I've just been mispronouncing it the entire time. Caden, Girl, you know he's mine,
Are you interested in the Lieutenant Chief?
Of course not, sir. Fraternization is against regulations.
That's not an
What's that?
answer.
You didn't come by to eavesdrop on family mail.
Your family seems to be important to you.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Should I investigate before I go to those? Oh yeah, I can ask about each of them. Tell me about your sisters.
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school.
Oh, I have 3 sisters too.
With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I met Chief. First thing he did was salute.
And I also have a family that's very military oriented. Like my grandpa was in the Navy and I was in the Navy, and my dad wanted to join the Air Force but couldn't for one reason or another. So I kind of relate to Ashley in a weird way.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
Where were you from? Is she from Earth?
Where did you grow up?
All over. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
After helping raise them, your sisters still talk to you? Amazing.
Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Tell me about it.
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself a boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike. I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vidmails, and I'd tell her to relax.
Vidmails? Is this like a Skype?
Where were you when this was going on?
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was assigned to Chernobog. Same cluster, but a dozen LY away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency. I couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
Interesting names for some of these places, like Amaterasu, which is the Japanese sun goddess. Oh, we are definitely not saying boys will be boys. No means no!
If he really liked her, he wouldn't be pushy.
Yeah, of course. If he didn't ask at all, I'd wonder if he thought Sarah was ugly. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense. I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
Tell us about that self-defense.
You said all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice, but didn't like it. She's kind of nervous. Sarah took Aikido. Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into.
She likes cosplay, I bet.
Things to her figure, though.
What about you? What'd you do?
So, what did you learn?
One of Dad's friends taught me Marine hand to hand.
Of course. What about the police? I guess it's like, why didn't you call the police?
Why didn't you tell the police?
Yeah.
She said it wouldn't solve the real problem, and she and Mike would both become household names. It was a small colony. I said it was her call to make, that we should let her do it her way. Mom was pretty pissed about that.
You traveled all the way home to walk your sister to school.
It was only a dozen light years.
Only.
Like a day's cruise. It's not like I was going to Earth or something. My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her. I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk, and there's blood everywhere.
Good for her.
That's unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
Better. I'm more or less a straight-up puncher. When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was gonna end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying. And she hugged him. The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
Alright, well, thank you for the story.
Your sister's something else. But you didn't mention your father at all. Was he on deployment?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
I was gonna say, that's... she's surprisingly well-read. You know, I like her beyond her spaceism, which is what I'm calling her space racism. I'm bored now. You read poetry, huh?
I never thought I'd hear you reciting poetry.
Just because I can drill you between the eyes at 100 meters doesn't mean I can't like sensitive stuff. Just don't spread it around. Ulysses was my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it. He had a dozen versions when he retired.
That's a good piece.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I go home. Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though.
Yeah, sure.
You mean from wherever we go after death?
Dead on, Skipper. He's with God now.
Oh, she's religious, okay.
That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
I always go for the top option, but in this case, I'm just gonna say, of course not. Because it doesn't bother me that someone else has a belief in some kind of religion or whatever kind of philosophy like that, as long as they're not like pushing it. Although I feel like I have come a long way in that, because I used to be very like strongly atheist, like one of those really annoying atheists who's just like, you know, oh my god, you believe in God? But, you know, believe what you believe.
Everyone has the right to believe what they want. It says so on the Alliance Charter. Only with fancier words.
I'm glad you're open-minded about it. I've met a few people who are really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez. Hello, have you people looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something?
Well, not my place to judge.
Your beliefs are your business. I'm your commanding officer, not your moral compass.
I appreciate that, Skipper. I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
Well, thanks for talking.
Dismissed, Chief.
Sir.
Yeah, I don't believe in anything like, you know, I'm completely atheist, but still, it's your own business, whatever works for you. Come on, work. If only the elevators would work properly. Is there anyone else left to talk to? I think I might have hit up everybody. I talked to Caden. I gotta say his name correctly. I'm sure that somebody had said Kaiden before. Or maybe I just assumed that's how it was pronounced just by the way it's written. I wonder what kind of name Caden is. Like, is it an actual name, or is that just like something that they made up? Because it almost sounds like Japanese in a way, Kaiden, but then it's not Kaiden, it's Caden. Anyway, I'm gonna save right here, and then next time we'll get going on, let's see. There's Novaria, but the Rex family armor was taken by the Turians. He is in the Argos Row cluster. Did we go to Argos Row? That sounds familiar, but it might not be. Kepler Verge. I know I've heard that, but I don't believe we've been there. The Herschel system. That does not sound familiar at all. Okay, I'm going to save, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye!